What's up, guys? Kizzle here with episode number 2 of this FIFA 16 career mode. In episode 1 then you saw us get a draw and a win in that pre-season tournament, the European Shield I think we're in. So that was really pleasing, and here you can see we're going to begin this episode with a departure. Adrian Mariappa has decided to join Norwich, so that'll be interesting as they're the team we face on the opening day of the season. But we're going to jump straight into a game now. We're going to be playing Locomotive Moscow, looking to get a decent result and secure our place in the knockout stage of this pre-season competition. That's the team I've decided to go for. A little bit of a rotation. Speroni comes in. A couple of other changes as well. I think Bamford's leading the line up front. Punchin comes in instead of Wilfried Zaha as well. So a few changes. Don't read too much into that. It is still pre-season. We are still trying to find our best 11. But we're going to jump straight into the game now. We almost get off to a dream start when down the right, Jason Punchin, the man who's starting out wide, cuts all the way in from kickoff. Brilliant run. The finish wasn't a good one. It looked really bad, but it actually turned out it was a decent block from the defender. But we continued our good start. Jordan Much on the ball here. Turns inside his man. Gets a decent shot away, which is parried well by the keeper. An individual defensive mistake then from Damien Delaney. A poor clearance here almost allowed Locomotive to take the lead. They won the ball back. Quick snapshot on the turn. But luckily for us, it went just wide of the mark. But they had a set piece a few moments later in a dangerous position. Samadov bent the ball up and around the wall. But fortunately for us, the ball came back off the foot of the post and went wide. But they continue to pile on the pressure. Just before half time, they get a decent cross in here. Again, we failed to clear it, but Julian Speroni pulls off a fantastic stop. And just as we did in the other pre-season games, we decided to rotate the team a little bit at half-time. Jedinak, Lee Chung-yong and Dwight Gale all coming on to get involved. And Gale was involved immediately and made an instant impact. He picked up the ball wide left, cut inside his man. Got a decent effort away on goal, actually. I thought the keeper should do a little bit better, but it turns out Gale curled the ball off the far post into the back of the net to give us a 1-goal advantage, and that was really, really pleasing. Instant impact from the striker. See, one thing in his mind when he picked up the ball here is just to cut inside. He does that really, really well, leaves the defender for dead, and I think the keeper probably will be disappointed that he didn't get a hand to that, but we don't care. We've got the lead that we wanted, and we nearly made it to Jason Punchin hitting a shot from 25 yards, stinging the palms of the goalkeeper. And here's something that I've seen a lot of FIFA players complain about on FIFA 16 on Legendary: the opposition keeping the ball, passing it around at the back, and you can't get a touch of it. Well, a bit of a patience game. Just keep putting them under pressure, and they will eventually make an unforced error. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalise on that as Balassi fired over, but they continued to come forward. Just about 5 minutes left. That was really the final chance of the game. They got a header on goal, well claimed by Julian Speroni, and the full-time whistle went, meaning that we are through to the knockout stage of this European Shield, thanks to that man's goal off the bench. So really, really pleased to progress. And then a transfer offer comes in. Someone who's not transfer listed, defender Scott Dan. Sunderland come in with a £7 million offer. We did counter and ask for 8. They've come back with 7, and that is a reasonable offer if you ask me, and I am going to accept that. And Scott Dan will have the decision now whether he wants to stay at Palace or move on to Sunderland. But in terms of delving into the transfer market ourselves, we look to Kennedy, the very promising youngster that Chelsea have signed. We're going to try and get him on loan if we can. His wages are 20 grand a week. That's not too bad at all. And hopefully, with himself probably being limited first team opportunities at Chelsea, may want to join us on loan. And with Scott Dan going, it's also important that we look to get in another centre back. Eric Dyer from Spurs and Kurt Zuma from Chelsea, both on our radar, so to speak. So we made contact with the necessary clubs, whether it a bid or an inquiry, whatever we needed to do. A guy here, Ivan Hovland, actually is a player that the scouts picked up from Nuremberg. He's a 26-year-old centre-back. Plenty of potential, actually. The wage budget, we can afford his wages, and they only asked for 3.4 million, so we did go in with a bid for that. Chelsea come back asking for 12 for Kurt Zuma, a little bit more than what we wanted to pay, so we decided to submit an offer of 10. Spurs asked for 4.3 million for 21-year-old Eric Dyer. We were happy with that, and we decided to just make the offer straight away. Obviously, if Dang does go, we're going to be looking for a centre-back pretty quickly. Some other players that we sent inquiries for: Andros Townsend, John Joe Shelvey is another player, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Mark Bartra from Barcelona. Townsend, we decided to submit a bid for 4 million. Winston Reid as well is another player that we were interested in, but you can see the asking prices that those clubs asked for were all out of our budget. Sigurdsson, they wanted 14.5, 12.5 for John Joe Shelvey. Winston Reid, West Ham just said straight away was not for sale. They're not interested in letting him leave. and Mark Bartra. I think Barcelona asked for quite a tidy sum. We're going to see it in just a second. Yeah, 15.5 million. There's no way that we're going to spend that kind of money. So back to match action then in the European Continental Shield. We're taking on Sassuolo, as you can see, in the semi-final of the competition. The other one is between Bologna and Locomotive Moscow, a team that we've already beaten. We're going to have a look at the side now. You can see McCarthy in goal. There's a couple of rotations in this team. It's still very strong. Haven't got this far. We don't really want to be eliminated from the competition at this stage, but we're going to jump into the action. You can see early doors Balassi getting through down the left hand side. He forces a decent save from the keeper, as it turns out, just using his pace to get down the channel. Sassuolo had an opportunity themselves from a free kick. The ball came into the box. They won the header, but it was a poor one. Half hour gone then, Wilfried Zaha picked up the ball on the right hand side. He was dispossessed fairly easily. They play a routine ball back to the keeper. His first touch is awful. Second touch is even worse. We go 1-0 up without actually touching the ball. The best thing about that is it gave me the option to celebrate with Sarko, just because he was nearer the ball, which is superb. But you can see, I don't know what the keeper's up to there. First touch was dreadful, and then he tries, I think, what is a Cruyff turn. Kind of comes off his toe and gives us a 1-goal lead. We don't care. We'll take it. And you can see the keeper hanging his head in shame, and rightly so. To be honest though, his side nearly got level right at the on the stroke of half time. They played the ball around quite nicely. They made it difficult for us to play. They worked the ball, really good one-touch stuff, all the way to the back post, but the effort was dragged wide. Only a couple of changes this time. Jordan Much and Jason Puncheon coming on for Sarko and Balassi. Don't want to be rotating the side too much. It is a semi-final after all. And there you see what looked like a pretty routine block from Damien Delaney. But we look at the slow motion replay. He actually goes head and chest first into this. So really committed defending, which I was pleased to see. Despite the earlier incident, they decided to continue playing the ball back to their goalkeeper. And again, he looked very shaky. We got a throw in there. He panicked with the ball at his feet. He's not the best. We nearly doubled our lead. Wilfried Zaha flicking on this corner kick, but the keeper makes up for his earlier error, making a decent save. But that was the last chance of the game, so we progress through to the final, which is nice. Gives us the opportunity to get some more transfer budget. And speaking of transfers, it's time to delve back into the window. And as you can see, first of all, the final will be between us and Bologna. They beat Locomotive Moscow 4-3 on penalties. After that game, we had an offer for Jason Puncheon coming in. It's an easy decline, 2.8 million. Not interested in selling our best players at all. But you can see Scott Dan decided to join Sunderland. So 5 million has been added to our budget already, which means we do have a fairly sizable budget to get another centre-back in. And 2.1 million as well, also because of our progress in that competition. We're pleased to also see that Eric Dyer, the bid that we put in for him was accepted. His wage demands are not astronomical, so we can look to bring him in. We're going to offer him 32.5 grand a week, and he would be an important first team player. More good news on the transfer front is that the offer we put in for Hovland from Nuremberg, that offer was also accepted. Similar wage demands, although he is asking for a £15,000 a week wage rise on his current salary. He's not going to get that. We're going to offer him 35. And I don't think we're going to go any higher than that, to be honest. Even though the amount we've offered is small, so we could spare some more on wages. He's not our main target. But even better news, we're going to complete our first signing, and it's Kennedy from Chelsea, the young Brazilian. Plenty of promise from him. We're going to bring him in on a season-long loan. As I said earlier, his wages are only 20 grand a week, which is not bad at all. So we're going to sign on the dotted line and get that deal completed. And as I said in the previous episode, a left back is primarily what we're looking for. We sent the scout out. I'm not going to bore you and show you all the instructions, but we're looking for a left back of first team quality, basically. Decilio, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Milan, was a player that he brought back. And this guy, Mario Rui from Empoli, Italian side, plenty of potential looking at those stats. His contract expires in 12 months as well, and he's also 24 years old. So as a player we were extremely interested in. We sent inquiries for both of them, but more importantly, Chelsea accepted our bid for Kurt Zouma. Again, his wage demands for a player of his quality or a player with his potential we thought were low, so we offered him what he wanted. Important first team player status as well, and hoped to bring him in. In terms of the other potential targets, Mario Rui we put a bid in for, and Decilio as well. The inquiries, they didn't come back too bad. They didn't demand too much money. Decilio would probably be the main target of the two because of his experience. But that is where we're going to leave this episode, guys. So next up we will have the final, and then we will be delving into the first game of the Premier League season, where we will be travelling to Carrow Road to take on Norwich. But I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, everything like that. The links will be in the description, and we'll see you again next time.